This is gonna ruffle some feathers, but I truly believe being a woman in your early 30s and single is truly the hardest. Societal pressure is at an all-time high to be in a relationship. Most of your friends are gonna be in relationships, they're gonna be married, they're gonna have kids. So you're gonna feel that pressure even more, and sometimes you're gonna feel extremely isolated. Constantly deal with people asking you about your relationship status. Why aren't you dating? Who are you dating? The fear starts to kick in that you're running out of time. Pressure to settle for someone who might not actually fit the things that you're looking for.
Remember, your biological clock is ticking.
Oh, woman, it's not society that's pressuring you to find a mate. And regardless of how badly you wish it was true, nobody could care less about who you're dating. The reason why you're freaking out is thanks to this handy-dandy little thing called regret. You focused on all the wrong things, lady. Be it a career, living your best life, or betting everything you got on trying to lock down Dr. Pookie McRae, CEO of Tyronium Incorporated. And any gambler would have told you that, sure, the odds of you getting the doctor are technically there, but you'd have better odds if you just bet on old Stinkmeyer, an 8-year-old, lame, out-of-work donkey at the horse races. You're feeling the panic because your womb and ovaries are reminding you that you kinda, sorta, maybe ignored your basic biological instincts for too long, and is currently in an argument with your brain, which has no idea how to lock down a quality dude so you don't end up alone. And that's not society, sister. That's all on you.
There's such a limited pool of men that are actually available. Most 31-year-old single men haven't really done the work. Jesse from Summer House, for example, he's going to jump from one girl to the next because he's tall, probably has a good job, lives in New York. But men that are in their early 30s are not really an option for us. And dating older, they're typically creepy or they just want a trophy wife. And dating younger, they're just mentally not there. Probably aren't looking for the same things. It's so challenging to manage a career while struggling to navigate the dating scene, actually find a meaningful connection.
Ooh, yeah. I'm gonna have to go ahead and sort of disagree with you there.
Translation, I tried to compete for Chad and now my brains are scrambled. And this is the reason why you're headed to the wall, lady. There's about as much hope for you as a butcher shop in the middle of a compound for a vegan cult. Even if you were willing to lower those standards of yours, there is no chance in HE double hockey sticks that you will be content with your life. And that's because no matter how good that man might be, he is not the man that you want, and you will always be comparing him to the man who would not settle for you. He won't be handsome enough, he won't be rich enough, or as good in bed. I guess there's a part of you that already knows this because you've already decided that every single man in the dating market isn't good enough for you. They're either too immature, too broke, or too old and creepy. Which is kind of ironic because those are the exact same reasons why those very same men don't take you seriously.
Sickler.
Then you also hit this point when you're in your 30s where you're really secure in knowing what you want, actually okay being alone, but you're worried about people labeling you as undesirable or unsuccessful because of your single relationship status. But like you're missing out on experiences that you would have if you did have a partner. And admittedly, I am a little bit fixed in my ways when it comes to my routine. When I was in my 20s, I was a bit more spontaneous with my day-to-day, and you're going out a lot more. So as of right now, I am not dating. I am just focusing on my friendships, my career, and me, and that feels right.
What we got here is a little game of show and tell. You don't want to show me nothing, but you're telling me everything.
Hey, I hate to break it to you, sister, but you're not focusing on yourself, your friendships, or your dead-end career. You said it yourself. Your friends are married with kids or in relationships. Your job has left you unfulfilled, and it's possible for you to focus on yourself even though you are clearly self-absorbed. You'd rather wallow in your own misery, and this is the closest you'll ever come to acceptance that the wall awaits thee. You'll still blame society, men, and the bitter resentment that your life isn't one gigantic reality show, but deep down you know the truth. You played the easiest game in the world, and you still managed to not only screw it up, but you screwed it up in spectacular fashion. Human beings have been able to successfully find mates for thousands of years. It was never all that complicated, especially when you were born with several advantages, and yet here you are, slamming face first into the wall and shocked that when you ignore the men around you, it leads to a life of solitude. You brought this on yourself, lady, and that's something you will never really accept.
You blew it. Capiche? If he moved on from you right after the breakup to someone else, girl, you won. I see so many comments from girls after their breakup saying, Nikki, I don't know why he moved on so fast. He's already with someone new. He doesn't care. Girl. Number one, breakups are not a competition to see who can move on faster. And I know it sucks because you're like, I'm over here mourning our relationship being sad and they're over here with someone new. Like, what is going on? Like, I don't deserve this. But girl, he moves on to someone right after you guys broke up. You are the winner here. You won already. Because do you know what he's doing? Distracting himself, okay? They're not actually moving on from you. They're just distracting themselves.
You're amazing. You figured this all out already.
Wow, Ethel, I am almost impressed. You found a way to seamlessly blend denial, delusion, and cope into such a way that was once perceived as scientifically impossible. That man is not distracting himself. He broke up with you for the exact same reason why you'd break up with a guy. He found somebody better. She may have been friendlier, more feminine, or more fun to be around, or didn't require enough caffeine to put down a gorilla just to barely function in the morning. Either way, Ethel, he's not distracting himself. If anything, he is improving his situation. You'd do the exact same thing if the tables were turned. We see it all the time. Modern women will dump that perfectly good boyfriend the second the man she wants becomes available. And when you destroy that man in the process, do you see him as winning, Ethel?
Meanwhile, you are actually dealing with your emotions and you're gonna get over it so much quicker. And I know it doesn't feel like it because you might be sad for like months. But girl, when you're healed, you're actually fully gonna be healed. Whereas they are gonna realize months later that they're actually upset over you. And yeah, they're probably gonna try to crawl their way back. But we are not a second choice, okay? We are not a second option.
We ought to just videotape this, play it back in slow motion.
Ethel, seriously, you need to cut back on the pixie sticks. Wilford Brimley himself is ready to start spamming your phone with diabetes texts, and nobody wants that. So I'm just gonna say it, you're incapable of healing. The reason why is pretty simple. If a guy dumps you for a better woman, you won't be able to help yourself but keep tabs on this guy. You'll stalk him on social media and secretly hope that they break up so you can swoop in and reclaim what you think is yours. And when you're not sacrificing small animals to the altar of the demise of his relationship, you'll be recording yourself ugly crying for the sake of internet validation and secretly begging that man will come back to you. Even though, Ethel, you both know that'll never happen. Self-respecting men won't crawl back to broads like you. Why on earth would that man want to have you as his backup plan? Making an irresponsible decision like that will just force the man to always have at least 2 bottles of aspirin at the ready for the relentless headaches you'll cause him.
I'm just preparing you for that. But girl, if you are actually dealing with your emotions and you are sad, just trust me, you are the winner. Because you are actually going to be able to be fully moved on. So I know it sucks right now that they might be with someone else. Just know, okay, if someone's jumping from you straight to someone else, do you really think that relationship's gonna be like top tier? No. So don't rush yourself to move on and heal and be with someone else. You are doing it the right way, and I love you, bestie boo. Trust me on this. Mwah.
Lady, you're scaring us.
You know what? I'm confident in saying that if my next relationship ended and Ethel was waiting for me to come back, my time would be better spent watching Demolition High for the 19th consecutive time. And speaking of which, have you even seen Demolition High? Because I gotta tell you, it's one of the best movies around. Never before was Corey Haim able to bring to life one of the greatest Die Hard in a high school premises to ever be committed to film.
Well, the old saying's true. The pen really is mightier than the sword.
And with line deliveries like that, how can this movie get any better, you might be asking? Well, I will tell you how with 3 words, brother. Alan frickin' Thick. Nuff said. This low-budget Die Hard ripoff clearly only had about 1/3 of its screenplay written, and they only had 2 days to make a movie, but that didn't stop them from making one of the best movies around. Demolition High. It might not fail to not disappoint, but it's still more of a worthy time waster than dealing with Ethel any day.
Okay, the reason why you're never gonna get a girlfriend, and it kills me when guys do this. When a girl likes a guy, they're all like, oh my god, your eyes are so pretty, like I would love to see your Lego collection. It's obvious. But when men like a girl, how come you bully her? Or just ignore her completely? Like their version of flirting is pretending they hate you? How are we supposed to know?
I can see down your shirt.
Okay, woman, we all know that you can't build Legos worth crap, so leave the Legos out of your hypocrisy right this instant. The reason why those men talk to you that way is rather simple. You tell them to. You actually desire those men who ignore you while having zero respect for the men who treat you decently. The men who aren't even interested in you are the ones who intrigue you the most because you live in a world where you cannot stand the idea that any man wouldn't want you. So you're drawn to those men viewing every man who treats you decently as boring. That's why more and more perfectly good guys have more interest in building awesome Lego space battles than they do in dealing with a broad who thinks that cleavage counts as a personality trait.
We'll put some clothes on.
I cannot believe I'm saying this, but from what I've learned on Love Island, this is what men want. Men want to agree on which girl is the hottest of them all, and they all want her. All about them agreeing which one is the cutest. Honestly, don't think it's a preference thing. Like, I don't think they even know what they want. One person just is like, this girl is the hottest, and they're all just like, yeah, she is, and we all want her. It happens on every dating show. For some reason, I'm still always shocked by it.
That doesn't make sense.
Well, sweet merciful crap. Well, it looks like the jig is up, guys. She's figured it out. She now knows about the global cabal of men who do nothing with their time but hang out on tropical islands and agree on which women are the hottest. Well, that just sucks. I guess we're just gonna have to abort Operation Lockjaw and just go back to living our average lives with our own levels of personal preference when it comes to beauty and females. I knew that starting reality shows was probably a bad idea, and we gave modern women way too much credit when we assumed that they would be able to tell that there was nothing realistic about reality television. I mean, you would have thought the terrible acting and massive crew of script supervisors would have been a dead giveaway, but looks like we flew a little bit too close to the sun on this one, gentlemen and gents, so I guess this woman is just too clever for us, huh?
And I would have got away with it too if it hadn't been for you snooping kids.
I'm trying to figure out why this is. Maybe it's because guys don't want to use their brain more than necessary. On Love Island, every single person is hot. Instead of using like deductive reasoning and figuring out which one they would be most compatible with, you'd rather just like universally decide one girl is the cute one everyone wants. Like a conformity thing. Like, once it's established in their brain, they don't budge. They all just start battling for this one girl.
We're on express elevator to hell, going down.
I gotta level with you guys. As we watch society slowly sink down into the icy depths of despair, you'd think I'd be freaking out right now that the very fibers of existence, the only world that I have ever known, is currently disintegrating into apocalyptic oblivion. But I'm not. How can I be freaking out when we're watching this fascinating case of universal brain rot? Just look at this broad's face. It's completely brain dead, and she's trying to speak intellectually on the male thought process and using a fictional television show as evidence for her hypothesis. We are witnessing something fascinating, and it's unraveling itself in real time. Just look at her. She's so dazed out and brainless that she has no idea what she's talking about while pretending that she is creating intellectual thought. This is absolutely amazing to a guy like me. And I never thought the downfall of society would be like this. I always assumed it was either going to be aliens, Red Dawn, radioactive dinosaurs, or professional baseball. But sometimes you just gotta appreciate the awe and splendor that is the complete collapse of Western society. I mean, come on, we're all going to hell together, so we might as well enjoy the view on the way down.
What's funny is this girl gets so stressed out. She's like, oh my god, okay. I just think it's hilarious because I'm like, it's not your fault. It's literally them. They all just like universally decided that you are the one that everyone's gonna fight for. No rhyme or reason for it. It doesn't mean that you are more beautiful than these other beautiful women. Anyway, I just saw a video where a girl was like, what do men want? And this is what it is. They want to decide who is the most beautiful together. But yeah, it's out of your hands. And you're screwed.
On any other day, that might seem strange.
Hey, lady, you do realize what you said is kind of stupid, right? I mean, you have to. But in the event that I'm giving you way more credit than you actually deserve, I'll tell you. Generally speaking, men are not that complicated. We want peace, stability, loyalty, unlimited free steak for life, or tofu if you're of the vegetarian persuasion. We want quality products at affordable prices, maybe a kick-ass sound system, the occasional free replay on a pinball machine, go-karts, Nerf wars, go-karting while Nerf warring. We want to be the survival kings of the zombie apocalypse, or we want to be able to successfully throw a shuriken if our lives depended on it. It's all fairly simple stuff. The list is going to vary from guy to guy, but we're not just spending our free time playing who's hot and who's not. We're too busy. Unlike you and your crippling addiction to reality television, we actually have lives. And that is going to do it for today's video, gentlemen and gents. And as always, if you find that my particular brand of comedy is bringing you to the brink of laughter, then why don't you scroll on down and click that like and subscribe button. Ring the notification bell, leave a couple of comments, and share this video so we can give the good old-fashioned middle finger to the YouTube algorithm. So long, and thank you for all the fish, and until next time, peace out, homies.